in order to strengthen internal democracy and transparency in NRM, we have decided to strengthen our electoral commission. First of all, by stating that the electoral commission should have a full-time chairperson assisted by 2 other commissioners who shall be appointed by the chairperson of the party with the approval of the National Executive Council. In order to strengthen registration of members, we have decided to centralize the activity of member registration at the National Secretariat. We have, however, made a provision that the National Secretariat can delegate the lower organs of the party to do registration on its behalf. So registration and issuance of membership cards will be the primary responsibility of the NRM Secretariat. The second most important amendment we have made is in the structure of the National Secretariat. In addition to the Secretary General, the conference has decided to add the National Treasurer, the Deputy National Treasurer, the Deputy National Secretary General, and also reduce the number of directorates to 4 in order to assist the Secretary General to run the Secretariat. The National Conference also took a decision to make the position of the National Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, National Treasurer, and Deputy National Treasurer appointive and not elective. All the staff of the Secretariat, including the Secretary General, will be appointed by the National Chairperson with the approval of the National Executive Council. And the offices which I have talked about will be ex officios. The Secretary General, the Deputy Secretary General, the Treasurer and Deputy Treasurer will be ex officio members of the Central Executive Committee, of the National Executive Council, and the National Conference. The National Conference also has amended the proposition of the Central Executive Committee to allow the National Executive Council to elect 5 permanent persons from a list of people who will be nominated by the National Chairperson. The other important amendment which the National Conference has adopted is the transitional provision, because some of the officers in the Secretariat have now become appointive, not elective. It's important that we provide for grounds upon which appointed officials can vacate office when circumstances arise. We have also stated very categorically that the office bearers, the current office bearers of the Secretary General, the Deputy Secretary General, the National Treasurer, the Deputy National Treasurer, once these amendments have been adopted by the National Conference and formalized through the National Electoral Commission, the holders of the office, the current holders of the offices, their term will expire to enable the National Chairperson, with the approval of SEC, to appoint new office bearers to start running the Secretariat as soon as possible. The other amendments which we have made were procedural amendments in the way the National Conference will amend its constitution. We are saying that if a member has an amendment to the constitution, he will make the proposal, submit it to the Secretary General with its justification. The Secretary General will submit it to SEC, SEC will submit it to NEC, NEC will submit it to the National Conference for adoption. We have also amended the Constitution to state that in case of a presidential candidate of NRM, he or she will be elected by the National Conference from a candidate or candidates recommended to the National Conference by the National Executive Council. There was only one amendment over which the National Conference could not reach consensus. And this is the amendment where NEC sought to request the National Conference to allow the Central Executive Committee, in case circumstances arise, to exempt lower elections of the party from the requirement of separate ballot. Because we always emphasize cohesion and consensus in our party, the absence of consensus on this amendment, the chairman of NEC and chairman of the conference withdrew the amendment, and it was deferred, it wasn't adopted. Finally, the conference has allowed the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee of the party to go back and reformat all the amendments that have been made at this conference and those that have been made before, compile a constitution, submit it to the Secretary General, who will publish copies which will be transmitted to all members of the National Conference in their various districts. So in summary, Your Excellency, those are the amendments which the second meeting of the second National Conference has adopted this 15th day of December 2014.